Well, hello, this is Marty Dickinson with ProduceMyBook.com, and I have with us our most recent published author, Dar Geiger. We are launching her book today, and that book is called Reignite Your Joy, Let God Lead Your Dance Through Life. It is on Amazon. It is already a bestseller in the downloads category, and we are ready to launch this book and bring it out to the world. So welcome, Dar Geiger.
Thank you, Marty. It's a pleasure to be here and an honor too. It really is.
Well, one of the great advantages I have as an interviewer when I have these book launch interviews with our author clients is that I've already come to know a lot about you, but our audience has not. So I'd like to introduce you by reading what's on the back cover of your book. Dar Geiger has taught Stephen Ministries and was a Bible study fellowship leader for 9 years. She is a qualified national marketing director with the Juice Plus Company and lives debt-free. A mother of two, a grandmother of three, Dar enjoys facilitating women's groups and providing mentorship for women. So Dar, this is an exciting moment. I'm going to launch right into my first question because I want to get you talking about your book, something you're going to be doing a lot as you branch out and get on interviews and podcasts and maybe even become part of virtual summits out there and virtual lives. There's all kinds of potential for you getting your message to the world. So tell the viewers, just to kick this off, why right now? Why is today the best time for this book and your particular topic to be launching?
Oh, that's a wonderful question, Marty, and thank you for asking that. I just totally believe in God's timing. It's always perfect. He has a purpose for every one of his children, all of us. And for me, it was my time. God purposed this in me and intended for me to write about the assignment he's given me as a joy giver, because he knew that the world would need to be given hope and stability and to learn to laugh at yourself and why we have reasons to have happiness in spite of what's going on.
And you mentioned that word, that phrase several times, joy giver. What exactly does that mean?
Well, for me, it means, number one, that Christ came to bring righteousness, peace, and joy. But the personal experience was that the Lord told me that I was his joy giver when I was laying on the table and trying to meditate on him to remain peaceful while they were doing radiation treatments over my heart. So it had a deep meaning and a conviction that this is what he wanted me to do, because I love to laugh and I love to extend joy to others and be encouragement.
And how did that play a part in your recovery?
Huge. The gift of laughter, being able to laugh at myself and not take me so seriously. It is a gift. It is a gift, and it does things for the mind and the body, and the whole system operates better when there is lightheartedness and positivity. And so it fed right into my healing, along with good nutrition and love and support from others in my faith.
Mm-hmm. So there might be somebody out there that you said that you were on a table, and we need to go into that story a little bit more, which is well diagrammed in the book, of course. But tell us about that moment. So here you were, you had an illness and you weren't sure where things were headed. And then that point where you were called on as a joy giver, what happened next?
What happened next?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't say for sure it was 10 years ago in this proper sequence, but I know this much, that Christ is my joy giver. He's the true joy giver. And when I heard that, I decided to add a new middle name to go through what I went through with which was breast cancer, surgery, chemo, and radiation treatments. So I decided that I was going to have fun while I was going through this, so I could bring joy to other people, the medical people. I mean, I don't know if they ever get a thank you for the things that they do, and they're serving others. So anyway, I decided to add a middle name, which was fun. So over the last decade, people in my sphere of influence know me as Dar Fun Geiger. And the really cute, funny thing about that is I had my own business, and I had an event where people had to sign up on my email, and they saw Dar Fun Geiger. And I got a call from a person in Colorado, where you live, as a matter of fact. And she said, "Is this Darfoon?" And I said, "That's just an adopted middle name. It's fun." And she laughed because she said, "Oh, I thought you were Asian." And I said, "No, I'm Norwegian." And so when she came to the event, I greeted her and I said, "Welcome to Omaha."
Oh, that's amazing. That's great.
I'm grateful for a sense of humor, because I love to see other people laugh, and it's just so good for the soul. It's so good for the soul. But anyway, we're not always giggling and laughing, but there's a time and a place.
Yeah, that's very true. And we're still in a crazy time with all this COVID stuff happening, and who knows, potentially a second strain coming along, and all who knows what's going to happen in the next 12 months here. And that's my next question for you, is directly related to joy itself. I wonder if you could just define joy. What does joy mean to you, first of all?
I have an acronym that describes it very briefly and quickly to me, and it is J for Jesus in this sequence, O for others, and Y yourself. So for me, it means that when I look to the Lord and let Him guide me, He wants me to spread the good news to others, and not only the good news of the gospel, but also any kind of positivity that will they'll be able to pay forward to others. It's because joy and love and laughter spread, and it's way more powerful than sorrow and sadness. We have it. We have to go through our grief. Believe me, I've been through many experiences where I've gone through grief, depression, and a great grief. But when I'm able to follow that joy, I give it to others, and it comes from the joy giver. I'm the branch that it comes from the Lord and comes through me. It goes out to others, and it's so rewarding to be able to see people enlightened and encouraged and function better.
It sounds so familiar, because when we were developing the content for this book, you were saying a lot of the same thing. And I just thought, I really hope that we're able to get this message out to a lot of people, because there are a lot of people going through a very difficult, scary, challenging time in sometimes more than one way. I mean, sometimes people are having illness and job and relationship problems, and maybe heap on two or three other things all at the same time, and it can be so overwhelming. I'm just wondering if there's anything, I mean, as people consider the word joy itself, I mean, is it even possible to attain anymore?
That's a good question. I can imagine if I put myself in other people's shoes, or remember some of the horrible grief things that I've been through, and they're post-traumatic, technically. How would I have felt if someone said, "Dar, the joy of the Lord is your strength"? Well, what happened to me was that I was studying the Word of God, and I learned that the joy of the Lord is my strength. So I don't have to overfunction or try to produce it. It comes from the Lord, from my knowing Him in a personal relationship, about the deep root of His love in my life, and that's my source. He is my source. And so what a wonderful freedom to know that I don't have to work at it, that when I lighten up, in fact, today I sent a photograph to my girlfriend because I made a chocolate protein shake. And I went to put the pitcher in the refrigerator, and my glass was full of this thick chocolate, wonderful nutrition, delicious tasting. My sleeve hit it, and bam, it went flying all over the kitchen. And I looked at it and I said, okay, I can choose to either freak out and get very upset, or Jesus, the joy of the Lord is my strength. I think I'm going to take that road because I'm going to feel a whole lot better. Let's get this thing cleaned up. And I thought, I'm going to laugh about it. And I sent it to my friend and I said, I know we're supposed to be thinking about what we're thinking about, but this time I was thinking about what I was thinking about and forgot to think about what I was doing. I have a choice.
It's a great example of your personality that you have, full of laughter, full of having fun. And that seems to be one of your core beliefs in how to pursue joy. Because this isn't just about a recollection of stories, this book. I mean, this is, again, if you're just joining this halfway through, Reignite Your Joy, Let God Lead Your Dance Through Life by Geiger is launching today, Tuesday morning. It is available both in soft cover and also in ebook form on Amazon. And you can get that book at reigniteyourjoybook.com. Again, reigniteyourjoybook.com. And it is already a bestseller in downloads, and it hasn't even fully launched yet. So we're real excited about getting this message out to the world. And laughter and fun is in Dar's makeup. That is just what she is all about all the time. Whenever I talk to her, she is always happy, smiling, having fun. And I want to ask you that question. Is that for real? Is everyone that you see that is always happy and always having fun, is that really them, or is it just putting on some sort of mask? Is it even possible to have that level of enjoyment of life all the time?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question because I think there are a lot of people that would genuinely want to know, come on, with the way the world is, it's not possible, but yes, it is. Yes, it is when you know the truth. You know the true joy giver. It's not fake. I will oftentimes, though, if my friends or the people that I'm communicating with need uplifting, some positivity, I will pray and ask God to give me that positive tone of voice, words of encouragement. But I also know deeply how to empathize with others who are suffering and lost loved ones or have gone through terrible traumatic experiences. But I do know that I am so connected to the good news of the gospel of Christ. He is the one that gives that joy to me, and I have a lot to be happy about and grateful for. But you got to know what God's word says. And that's what the treasure is in my book, because that's what it's all about. The treasure is in there to dig into and find.
That's terrific. Well, I want to ask you just one more question. I like to keep these launch interviews very short, just to kind of get people introduced to some concepts of the book. And one of my main connections is with the small business community. So I know I'll be rolling this out to a lot of business owners, and they too are going through some really tough times right now. A lot of brick and mortar companies are going out of business, a lot of people looking for jobs. I mean, there's a professional component to this, and I know you were very successful in your business and still are, but if I remember right, you're semi-retired. Is that
Correct.
fair to say, semi-retired?
Correct. Yes, correct.
And debt-free. That's yes, not everybody can make that claim, that's for sure. So well done. And you just got back from a vacation in Florida.
It was about 33 days total. Never done that before. A total joy journey.
That's a long time still. It's a long time. Well, my question for you is, I'd like to see if you could make a link between joy and owning a business. Is that possible? Can the two things go hand in hand? Can you be a successful business owner and still have this component of joy that you're describing in this book?
Well, you know what? I scrutinized the company called the Juice Plus Company some 19 years ago and found that it was a company of integrity, and their mission statement was that they were there and they would train their people to help other people find their dreams. reach their dreams and their goals. And so I knew that it was a company that I would like to work for. Plus, I knew some of the people that were in the company and trusted them. They were happy people. And because they were well nourished, number one, Juice Plus is fruits and vegetables in a capsule, but also the philosophy and the goals of the president and the people that help to run the business, they're all very much about infilling their people with empowering them with education and equipping them with what they need to go out and share this good news of getting great nutrition to support your immune system, but also camaraderie, support, fun, great events, lots of laughter, and much positivity. They even have a prayer breakfast so that we are spiritually connected for those who are like-minded in that regard. So they do everything they can to empower people to be filled mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. They encourage physical fitness, of course, and body nutrition, that kind of thing. So it's been an absolute amazing journey for me of growth and learning how to contribute and be a part of a team. And we have had so much laughter. That's been a huge part of my life for 19 years. Yes, it's possible when you're with a company that believes in building up their people and compensating and supporting. Yeah. And knowing that you're helping other people. I mean, I talk about that some of the things that I'd learned in the dark days of my life was that it was very rewarding to give my problems to God and put them at his feet, and then to just go help somebody else. And suddenly I got my mind off of my problems and felt joy because I was contributing and making a difference in someone else's life.
For further proof that who you hang around is important. And with you, it was hanging around the people and the developers of Juice Plus and getting close to their business and learning their techniques and things.
Sure. I mean, I started in 2002 with Juice Plus. Wasn't all that happy when I started with Juice Plus because I was not feeling well. I didn't have much energy. And I thought, how am I going to serve the Lord when I feel icky? So I prayed, and a friend told me about this Juice Plus nutrition. And within 9 months, I felt like a new woman. So, and I'm not saying that it's a cure-all, but nutrition matters to our bodies.
Yeah.
Nutrition to our minds, like nutrition of God's word. It matters what goes on in our minds, what we feed it. Mm-hmm. So,
contributing to the overall joy factor, right? I mean,
right.
This is the book about your experience without joy and with joy, the transformation that you went through. And it's also a roadmap for other people who are in the same places that you were. And we haven't even talked about addiction and recovery. There's all kinds of topics to go through in this book that we can't possibly cover just in a quick interview like this. But that just goes to show that there is something for everybody in this book, especially if you have never had joy, if you've never experienced joy before, or if you once did have joy in your heart and you lost it. And now you're thinking, how could I ever get that back? This covers all the areas, and you did a great job with it.
When you think about it, how do you feel when somebody gives you this warm, beautiful smile? Even with a mask on, you can see in the eyes that they're happy to see you, or they're wishing you well. And how does it feel when you hear a joke and you're like belly laughing, you can hardly catch your breath? Oh my gosh, it's like doing jumping jacks for 20 minutes. It's so good for our minds and our bodies. I am grateful for the comedians who give their heart and soul to help people laugh, and grateful for the Lord who comes to bring us joy his way, and it's the best way.
We certainly appreciate you as well, Dar Geiger. This is her book launch day, Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021. You can go to reigniteyourjoybook.com. Again, that is reigniteyourjoybook.com. Launches today. Amazon bestseller on downloads already. We're working toward bestseller on the #1 Amazon bestseller list in a couple of different categories. So please help us out. Get your copy today. Tell others of this amazing message that the world really needs to know, that joy is still possible and you can find it with Dar's example in this book. So thank you, Dar, for being with us today. And I really wish you tons and tons of luck with this book. It's going to be great.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much, Marty.